Recently, the American Resort Development Association, ARDA, created a social media post honoring one of its members for Black History Month. And Resort Trades would like to also acknowledge another longtime participant in the resort industry during the 2025 Black History Month, Gordon McClendon. He's one of the very few African-American leaders in the timeshare industry. And I hesitate to say it, but maybe the only.
Well, you got a couple.
At the C-suite level.
Sure.
Very few.
Right.
So,
Yeah, sure.
So welcome, Gordon.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
It's an honor.
Sharon, we've known each other for over 20 years, and it's been an honor knowing you.
Definitely 20.
Yes, definitely 20.
Well, 19.
19.
I'll give you that.
Okay, all right.
So I'm Sharon Scott Wilson. I'm publisher and spokesperson for the Resort Trades Media Group. So before we begin, as the only independent media group serving the timeshare resort industry, we need your support from the viewers to help us continue to bring relevant and timely content to you. So please go ahead and click the like button, enter a comment, and share this video on YouTube. Now, today's guest is a gentleman that I've known and respected for almost 20 years, SPI's CEO, Gordon McClendon. Now, even prior to operating SPI, Gordon had a notable career running a major financial derivative trading firm with offices from New York to Tokyo. And he was a founding board member of the after-hours trading system known as Globex. Globex? I hope I got that right.
Yeah, you did.
So He was in a leadership position at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for many years, having the distinction of being elected to the board by the highest total ever. So I'm going to ask him to tell us a little bit about himself. But first, Gordon, Resort Trades is so pleased to recognize your leadership in the industry, and particularly during this Black History Month.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and discuss about your days in the Mercantile or Mercantile, I've been corrected, exchange in Chicago. And how you were elected in a contested election.
Right. In the Mercantile, but whether one says Mercantile or Mercantile in Chicago, was whether or not you were from the north side or the south side.
Oh, there you go. I guess I'm from the north side.
Right, exactly. I started my career as an actuary. I worked for insurance companies for actually it's maybe eight or nine, maybe 10 insurance companies. So over the course of a few years, and at the point where Nixon had opened up China and Russia was going into a famine, that the grain companies, in particular the two grain companies, Cargill and Continental Grain, was selling grain to both those countries, and as a result, because both of them were communist countries at that time, they required the vendors to guarantee prices for 10 years because they were making their that's the communist way, the 10-year plan. So how do you guarantee the price of a commodity for 10 years? The Continental Grain had this idea of hiring an actuary. That would be me.
Yay!
And
that must have been in 76 or so.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
My
Yeah, we
daughter
didn't.
was born then.
We don't.
Not to age myself.
We shouldn't. Yeah, let's keep the years. This time we talk about the events and not the dates.
Right. Maybe we'll cut that part.
No, that's fine. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that was the beginning of my career in the grain industry, and it took me all over the world. I was, I remember I was in, we were in Tehran 2 days before I was actually in Ankara. We had gone to Ankara, but we had a big office in Tehran. When the students took over the embassy, and I remember watching it.
There.
I will absolutely. Well, I'll tell you a little story. They offered the Continental Grain offered for us to go back in on their private plane to shut the office down, and they with a big bonus, and I volunteered.
Wow, that was great.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not a smart thing, but but Continental Grain started a company called Connie Commodities to hide. This was a retail trading operation to hide the fact that they were at any given day they were half the grain futures volume. That half of the trades were and so there was, if you're half, that there's an execution price that you had to pay. So they set up this company to hide the fact that their transactions were the ones that were entering the pit. So, and that's how I learned about the trading business. I learned about the trading business, the back office, and so on. I learned so much about it, that I decided that that I'm going to buy a membership, and I went to work for I started initially. I started at the Board of Trade in the bond pit. That was the biggest trading operation back then. That the bond pit was between, depending on what year, it was between 5,000 and 10,000 employees all around the pit. Not that many traders, but the people that it was a huge operation.
Wow.
And I was lost in it because I'm down at the bottom of the pit because I'm the new guy, and any trade that got down to the bottom of the pit, anybody that wanted to trade with the new guy was a losing trade. That's a trade you didn't want to have. So what ended up happening was that the Mercantile Exchange started trading currencies and interest rates, short-term interest rates. And the S&P, later the S&P 500 contract. And they had a small trading floor, which it was too small to handle the volume that they were experiencing, and so they built a building, and in the way in which they paid for it was they issued new membersps to pay for it.
Fortunate.
Absolutely.
At right time.
At right time. So I went over to the Mercantile Exchange and because all of us are new. Half of the membership is new, so there's what I experienced about the old boys club at the Board of Trade, I didn't experience there.
Now it's like opportunity.
Absolutely, exactly. So I traded I traded my own account. I was always an option trader. As you said, I traded derivatives because I'm being a mathematician that there's something called a Black-Scholes formula, which I don't, theoretically I don't believe in it, but I don't believe it's the efficacy of it. But if everybody is if everybody's is using the same thing, then that's what you use in pricing options. So
Right.
I then later on I partnered up with a friend of mine, and we established the McClendon group, and what I did was I supplied capital to traders, trained them on what I was doing, and gave them a percentage of the take. And
Great.
so they so we built a pretty substantial business, from, as you said, from London to Tokyo, from Singapore and Paris. It was New York. It was we had a worldwide, wherever there was a financial futures exchange, we made sure that we were there.
Good. Wow.
And in 1998, 99, I sold it to Mitsui. They bought it, and it's time for me to move to Florida. I thought I'd be a fisherman in the Keys.
Well, at what time? And tell us a little bit about Globex.
Globex was the Globex was the after hours trading system, which it was always to adopt it was a problem for us, because the membership of the exchange had to vote to adopt this, and they always felt that they were that Globex was going to reduce their presence in the exchange, because they were always short term, and I'm not casting aspersions. It was that they should have been but the future of trading was in it was in items like Globex, which was electronic trading. See, there was the after hours trading was not the pit. It wasn't the one bid at two, sell you 100, buy two bid on 1,000 and things like that. It wasn't that. It was all electronic, which we saw the future of. But you can think about this, that the trader in the S&P 500 pit is, you come in and you say, well, we're going to change this to electronic today. He's not going to buy it. And they had to vote on it. So we came up with a plan and it was actually a joint venture with the Board of Trade as well. So we so it was so overnight we did a venture with the Board of Trade and the Mercantile exchange, and we were trading after hours, after the markets closed in Chicago. 2 hours later, then you had this electronics trading. Our other partner at that time was Reuters. Reuters supplied the electronic basis for the trading. We barely got it voted in, but it did get voted in, and that became the basis under which the future of the exchanges, that provided the solidity and the future of the exchanges, because it was clear to me that the open outcries, what we call, the traditional trading method, that was not going to be the electronic trading was eventually going to take it over. Just so happened that it only happened a few years ago, but most of the 90% of the trading now is all electronic, and that includes the New York Stock Exchange. So
you were a real trailblazer.
Well, you can say that.
And I think also now you wanted to mention that you found ARDA and their women inclusiveness program.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, exactly. The ARDA, just speaking about, given that this is Black History Month, I'll step back and take and applaud ARDA, just in terms of what they're doing, because that's the, nobody hires anybody. I don't know of anybody that gets hired because they are a woman or because they are Black. You hire A players. That I built my businesses on hiring A players.
Right.
That's what, but you, in hiring A players, you want to make sure that you are getting that the pool of people that you're selecting from are inclusive. That if you're leaving out a woman or a person of color, you may be leaving out an A player. So what DEI is to me is making sure that there is an inclusiveness attached to what you're doing in terms of recruiting.
Yeah, that there's opportunity for
absolutely
everybody.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Even what college they went to.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. So therefore, what ARDA is doing is, with the WIN program, is they're introducing, women to, for example, they're introducing women to this new opportunity and giving them an orientation and training and they get to determine whether or not they, that is something for them. But it's a wonderful program, and it's really it is the way in which inclusiveness should be handled. As I always say, that people do hire if people hire people who they are comfortable with, and maybe if that's not the best, that's not the best approach,
Right. Well, and I might say we have recently attended the ARDA WIN conference in Orlando. I found it superb. I'm sure you did too.
Yes.
But I felt, I wish that when I was coming along, there'd been a program like this that I could attend.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were women giving other women their points of view on and their discoveries made from their own experiences, which I felt was really invaluable.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. Going back to when I was a trader, when I was hiring when I was looking, I had an apprentice program. I didn't hire a person and they walked in. Here here's your jacket. You're gonna be you're gonna be in the pit the next day. You were on a 1-year apprentice program. My interview went this way, Sharon. I would ask them what the square root of 70 was.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't interview me. I would have been out.
Well, there were a lot of people that were, and I didn't want an exact answer. I just wanted them to tell me it was something between 8 and 9, because I wasn't doing it to be a meanie. There was a lot of arithmetic interpolation that was necessary in the pit, and therefore your arithmetic skills were what we're going to be the difference between whether or not you're going to be a good trader or you're not going to be a good trader. So we didn't have, so that was how I was selecting A players. If you could answer, if you could answer that question, I was going to take a chance on you.
And I guess the same goes for SPI. And
absolutely.
The people that do all your programming and help with the implementations and the conversions from old legacy systems.
Absolutely, exactly.
That has to be letter perfect, and
have to be letter perfect, and we have to have the SPI and others, and anybody in the software business that's involved in converting data from legacy platforms. You're going to have A players. The mantra is to write it once and sell it 100 times. But in the software business, you are continuing to rewrite.
Customize.
And customize, and but actually changing the platform. When I joined SPI, it was largely text based, and so we moved from text based to the graphic user interface to we're slowly building web applications, and so that most of the reports and things are on your phone, like as opposed that you don't have a printer anymore, or if you do, it's up to you, but that's not how people, that's not how our customers have become used to looking at reports nowadays. They're used to looking at them in real time. They want those reports. They want to pull out their phone to see how their sales are doing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Gordon, we're kind of running out of time, but I did want to ask if you have anything else you would like to speak about, and I also wanted to mention that you had sent me an article from the Chicago Tribune, which addressed
the state of race in America.
It
was a front page article in the Tribune, and I think 1992.
And you were mentioned in it as an expert. But at the end of the article, there was a question about, is it going to get better, or has there been any improvement? And I wonder about that still.
I do too. I absolutely agree that I'm despondent about the fact that 60% of the workforce in America lives from paycheck to paycheck. And that there is a divide between the very wealthy and the people that work day to day. And while there is, we're at 4% unemployment. Of course, America has gotten better, but that depends on who you ask. It's gotten better for most of us, but we can't take our eye off the prize. That there are people that still haven't been part of the American dream, and are struggling, and therefore it's really important that our institutions, both public and private, are attenuated in that direction, that we don't leave anybody behind.
Right. That a lot of our larger resort companies in particular seem to be very
absolutely
public-minded.
Yes. They are, exactly.
I really
they
appreciate the industry for that.
They are. I absolutely agree. Yes, I serve on, I have served on a lot of a lot of boards. The Centers for New Horizons was a board in Chicago that I served on, and I served a lot of charity boards and still am, believe it or not. That
I don't know where you find the time, but
well, my friends, I have a friend that's one of the founding members of Bloomberg, and he makes sure that I have the time because he seeks me out to help him with his endeavors. So
you don't have much of a choice. He tracks you down.
That's exactly right.
Exactly right. Thank you very much for your time today, Gordon.
Absolutely,
I really
Sharon.
so much appreciate it. And I really do feel like you've made a big contribution to the industry, and through your work through SPI, giving, prompting innovation so that
absolutely
better and better, as well as
yes,
just presenting a good example of leadership. So
yes,
thank you.
And look for us. We're not done yet.
Yeah, amen. And thank you to our viewers too of this YouTube. If you're interested in staying abreast of what's happening in the timeshare industry, please go ahead and support us. It's all free. Subscribe to our e-newsletter, which you can be found at resorttrades.com/e-magazine. And go ahead and like, comment, and share on this video or others. We have quite a slew. We've been doing this since 2020. So appreciate your patience and sticking with us. And these simple moves, you just help us bring you media that's relevant to the business, to your business and your career.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.